are still going back and forth with what black women deserve as black women, and I'm just like so tired of it, because I feel like, why is it always a conversation with black women having to be more submissive? You know, we're not feminine enough. You know, we're just so masculine. We're not strong women anymore. Like, who wants those titles? Who wants to be the, you know, who carries the 40 acres? Nobody. So why are we always asking black women to be that for everyone, especially men? Like, I'm so over it. Like, you know, I've seen a lot of times in my life where the women that I love, that I admire, stood behind men who were not capable of giving the same thing, but because they felt like, oh, she's loyal, you know, she's a down there, she's a ride or die, this makes sense to my life. It doesn't. And a lot of times, like I said, a man, he will be broken, and then the minute he's up, he's with the next chick. Why? Because he doesn't. He feel like, okay, if she was with mass, all that stuff that I did, and I put her through, she can get through anything.
Why are black women the only group that's being asked to build men up financially? Like, I just really want men to drop down in the comments and help me understand this, because I don't hear my white brothers, I don't hear my Asian brothers, the Latin brothers, I don't hear my Indian or Arab kings out here asking their woman to build them up financially. I don't hear that. In fact, in a lot of cultures around the world, you can't even marry as a man if you don't have your bread together. So why are black women being told we need to help upbuild? Why are we being told we need to ride or die? Why do we have to settle for struggle love? I don't understand it. I also know women who have been with men who didn't have anything, built them up, and as soon as they got on, guess what they did? Leave.
Why are you picking broken men? That's the question. I mean, we could sit here and talk all day, talk in circles, but why are you picking broken men? That's the question. And see, there's a lot of women who've passed over good men. There's a ton of videos out there, a ton of examples of women out there leaving or completely ignoring good men. And so this is why I call this BS out all the time, man. You know, again, it's acting as the victim, and it's really just trying to make excuses for why you don't want to act right, why you don't want to work with a man. That's just what it is. Guys' opinions should be weighed heavily, because that's who you're going to be attracting. That's who you're going to be in a relationship with, right? I would think women would care more about what men thought in that regard, right? In terms of how you are in a relationship. Because, I mean, if you're trying to compromise and get a middle ground, get a common ground, then you would want to know what the man thinks in the relationship. And this is what I'm saying. Ultimately, when it gets too tough and hot in the kitchen, for some of these women, right, they really just revert to, I really don't care what you think. They'll take themselves as a victim, or they act like they don't know what the guy is saying, playing dumb and saying, well, what are you saying? Or they'll go right to the emotional thing and feel attacked. Like I said, that goes along with the victim mentality. Basically blatantly say that your opinion just flat out doesn't matter. They're tired of hearing it. And the crazy thing about it is, we've been hearing what men need to do for the last 20 some odd years or more. More recently, guys have just been more vocal about their opinions, and they have the medium to be able to express that. And let's be real, man. Most guys that catch them a good woman, that got their back, that really do their job, that gives a man what he's asking for. You got the respect factor. You know what I mean? She's pleasant to be with. She's pleasant to be around. And she loves him for him, respects him for him. Most men ain't giving that up. Most men are not giving that up. You know, again, men and women cheat at about the same clip, at the same level, at the same rate. So I'm, you know, again, you know, a lot of women like to point to this cheating and he's not loyal type of thing, but, and I get it. There's a fair share of men that's not, but at the same time, there's also a fair share of women that's not. So, I mean, again, you just got to put your best foot forward when coming to a new relationship and trying to think the best way. And just all you could do, just like in business, right? A lot of these women swear they ain't doing business, but I'm sure they got burnt in the business deal before. Could have got a better deal, could have got it cheaper, whatever that is, right? Bought it thinking it's gonna go up in value, but it went down in value. Any of those things that you learn, any of those lessons that you learn along the way doing business, you don't stop doing business. You don't go half-ass on your business, right? You don't just stop strategizing and figuring out how you could do better and get a better result, how you can make better choices in the business realm. make better choices for your business. Why they don't carry that line of thinking into relationships is the ego part. You don't want to admit that you share a role in the dysfunction. You share a role in the dysfunction. And the thing is, men are more accountable in the sense that I'm willing to admit a lot of guys share in the destruction as well, and the dysfunction as well, right? There's a lot of men who have left their woman with kids and do cheat, and obviously we know all of that. We've been told that ourselves. We've been told a lot of men ain't shit, right? And we kind of can see certain different things, but a lot of women don't admit this, and that's why we're having this conversation. Women say they're sick of hearing it, but you haven't been hearing it like that for the most part. That's the problem. And you guys have been running rampant. The ones that have this line of thinking, that share this line of thinking as this lady here, you're going to be told it until you get it, until enough of you get it to where, you have a lot more happy couples and happy families. At least, as you grow, I'm expecting a lot of men to improve too. When you start a new relationship or you get with a new guy, give him that same grace as you gave the first guy. Just choose better. Make sure you pay attention to the flags. Now you could, really build with that next guy. Right now, it sounds like you just want to do half-ass, and you want the next guy to prove to you what the first guy didn't do. And again, that's not act like women haven't asked this from men. They have their long list of criteria, like we always talk about. And I don't hear women saying they're tired of hearing that. You understand what I'm saying? And we hear so much about men's shortcomings, both in the bedroom, earnings, guys are short, whatever that might be, right? Oh, he's sassy or whatever that might be, the critiques of women. Okay, hey, have at it. I feel you. But you don't hear men saying they're tired of hearing it. They just press upon what they want to see from women. You have all these expectations, and men can't ask you what they want. And now you don't want to hear what men have to say. So basically, you want to be able to voice your displeasure and what you want and your requirements, but you don't want to hear it from men, right? You just want to do what you want to do. How much sense does that make? Does that sound like something a man would want? If you don't get that bullshit up out of here.
Why are black women the only group that's being asked to build men up financially? Like, I just really want men to drop down in the comments and help me understand this, because I don't hear my white brothers, I don't hear my Asian brothers, the Latin brothers, I don't hear my Indian or Arab kings out here asking their woman to build them up financially. I don't hear that. In fact, in a lot of cultures around the world, you can't even marry as a man if you don't have your bread together. So why are black women being told we need to help upbuild? Why are we being told we need to ride or die? Why do we have to settle for struggle love? I don't understand it. I also know women who have been with men who didn't have anything, built them up, and as soon as they got on, guess what they did? Leave.
Definitely, if you're going to get married, definitely have your bread up. I think especially have some ducks in a row, that's for sure. But really, women are the ones that want to get married. They're the ones that benefit most from that type of commitment. Those, women are the ones that get the best deal from marriage. Women are the ones that want to get married in the first place, and they benefit most from marriage. So I'm not sure what your point is on that. I don't really hear men saying they want women to build them up financially. I mean, when have you heard that? I'm trying to figure that out. I've heard men say that some women are delusional in terms of what they're looking for and what they are trying to look for in the market, especially if they're average looking. They're looking for a guy that makes a ton of money, especially if they're over a certain age. Then it's probably a lower percentage that they may get married, or if they have multiple kids with multiple baby daddies and they expect a guy with a lot of money to marry them. And that's the only thing I've heard, right? I mean, a lot of women, that's their concern, right? Is getting someone who makes a ton of money. Some of them that don't even earn that themselves, right? That's not the same as as saying that you want a woman to build you up financially. I haven't heard that. And if you're meeting those type of guys, then yeah, those are the type of guys that probably gonna sleep on your dime. They're gonna live on your dime. And those are the type of guys that they make a living off telling you what you want to hear. When rent comes around or when a mortgage comes around, they got nothing on it, or they got a small amount on it, because that's what they're giving you. They're giving you the social and, you know, the bedroom aspect of the relationship. They don't have the money like that. You know, you're lucky if they can kind of pay for their own way. The extra shit is out the door. You know what I'm saying? It's out the window. You ain't better get that. But you do have, if they're a lover boy, they give you what you want in that regard. So that's the type of, you know, men that you're going after, right? We call them the Pookies and Ray Rays, or the deadbeats, or guys that you pretty much know is not going to really fulfill you or fulfill their role in the financial way, the intellectual way, you know, the ambition way, where they can get up and get out and build their lives up. It's going to lead to a better livelihood for you guys, where you guys can make a good living, right? Yeah, that's not the type of guy, but those are the guys that you're choosing. And so when you're saying, I got to build this guy up, that's the type of guy you're talking about. To me, if you listen to a lot of these women, every guy out here is a deadbeat. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I know quite a few guys, like most of the guys I deal with, are going to be about something. They're not going to be deadbeats. They're going to be about something. They're going to have money about them. They're going to have at least be able to take care of their own, and, you know, they own their way, you know what I'm saying? Try to own a home or own a business or something that they got going on, you know. Okay, they going to school, something, you know, towards something. They're definitely not deadbeats. And so who are these guys that she meeting? I mean, I know there's guys like this that exist. I'm no idiot, but again, you're picking them, ma'am. And enough of these women are picking these guys where I'm like, well, what's making you pick these guys? What's making you make the wrong decision? You know, and again, this is kind of like the last lady, where it's all just this nightmarish scenario where you're building this guy up and he just walks off and leave after you done built him up. So all the magic that you had, all the wisdom that you had, that you done built this man on up from the ground, right? Some of y'all be saying that y'all never got shit going on for yourselves, and you building somebody else up. That's interesting. But another thing I want to touch on is she's saying that nobody else other than black men are complaining about these things, right? And that's utter BS. That's far from the truth right there, right? I've heard many guys contact me that are from all walks of life, different types of backgrounds. I think that's really what is a common ground for a lot of men, is that men want respect. Men want women to be less self-centered and more about the family again, and more about respecting their men, playing a role in the relationship. That's across the board. That's across the board. The only difference is presentation and culture and the way people live and go about expressing those things. But the same thing can be translated. Trust you me. Again, I don't see men telling women they need to build or upbuild them. I don't even know what that means. You know, I think men, they want a woman who is capable, and again, it's putting in her those that do, because there's a lot of men out there that say, hey, they want to provide, right, the whole thing and pay all the bills. And there's some men out here that want a woman that could contribute in the financial area, right, where they could, you know, maybe it's a 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. Okay, you get a nice job, you get a job that at least is taking care of some bills, or at least you have some skills, and, you know, and just in case the man, you know, gets sick or whatever, some reason he gets fired, he has to kind of start from scratch, or the business, something happens, whatever that happens, the woman is bringing in something where, you know, you're not starting from zero, right? And I think every household is different, but, you know, and if the woman happens to make more money, which I've seen that too, the guy has at least a good job enough where he can hang with, or he's contributing in the household. I've seen that as well. But maybe the woman is making more. She's making more than probably most people in general, men or women, right? She's just a top earner. That's great, right? Doesn't mean he's a bum because he, you know, she's making 200,000, he makes 100,000. Hey, you know, that's the way the ball bounces. But doesn't mean he's less of a man. You know, he's doing his thing. You just happen to make more. Congratulations to you. I think that's a great thing. But a lot of women out here just, oh, well, that, you know, you're not making enough, and they make it a bad thing. And it's like that 100K is adding to you. And what's crazy is that a lot of women out here aren't really even putting or allocating their money towards the family, which their money is their money a lot of the times, right? And so if you're not really putting in on the overall pot, you keep it all yours so that you could spend it however you want to spend it. But then you're spending mines. See, that's where you double dip it. And, you know, like I said, for every household is different. But again, the whole upbuild thing, I'm just not seeing it. Sometimes a woman is more talented than that man. That just happens. I mean, again, we talk about men and women a lot, but just as people, some people are just special people where they're able to do really well with their talent and turn that talent into money, and some aren't. And I've seen women just, that's all they do is do art or do painting, and it never make any money, but the guy has a good job and supports his wife. I've seen that. Of course, that's nothing wrong with that, right? You know, a man should just carry that on his back. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying a woman should carry a man on his back. That's not a man, right? But what I'm saying is the slight, you know, it's almost like they want loyalty and commitment for a long time, but they don't want a man who wants that from them. Again, both people have to put their best foot forward for this thing to work. That's just what it is. You got to, and you got to hope for the best and think with good intentions and give the person the benefit of the doubt until it doesn't work. I just think everybody is, you know, so jaded and, you know, thinking so negatively about the relationship, and they're letting the last relationship ruin the future relationships by just trying to overcompensate with their requirements. And next thing you know, you really just taking yourself out of the game, because after a while, it won't be anybody that can qualify for who you're looking for. They just won't. And next thing you know, like we talk about this all the time, you get upper 30s, 40s, 50s, and now you're no longer sought after. So a lot of those options that you thought were there has dried up. All the good men that you've overlooked because whatever flaw they had, maybe they wasn't swagged enough. Maybe they didn't have quite the confidence that you like. Maybe they didn't have the style that you like. All these little different things that you put so much value to. Now you just want somebody that loves you for you, and you can enjoy time with, that you can travel with, because now you got some bread, right? So you don't want the money now, right? You want the companionship. You want somebody around. You want the security. You want to feel safe, right? You want to feel loved and cared about. You go out and somebody actually cares where you're at, and that you come back home safe. And so it's just wild, man. It's wild. And it's just going back and forth. And at some point, the women that you call pick-me's that are getting picked are doing the work. Meanwhile, you're trying to figure out what pet you're gonna want to have and how long they live, and it's wild. And I think another piece of this, man, is really what I see here is a lot of women take this independence hard, right? And this I don't need a man thing. The only way they want a man in their life is if they have a soft life. It's if he's a sponsor. I talked about this before. They just want a sponsor, and they don't want you there. They don't want your opinions. They don't want you around the house unless you're basically giving them a soft life. These certain types of women, many of them, maybe you done went to school, got student loans, you got to do different things that adding up, little debts. And now you want a man to come in and help you. Maybe you got a couple kids, that another guy who you done built up, you say, and he done left you. Now you got his kids still. And so of course you want the new guy to come in. You want him to be able to make enough money to be able to take care of you and your kids and whatever debt you got. That's basically the name of the game, fellas. You know what I mean? You got to come in and take the garbage out and play Captain Sable. That's what it is. And if you're not that, man, if you're not that sponsor, then you're worthless to a lot of these women. That's it. And basically they're fed up, man. You understand, fellas? They are fed up because you don't just lay down, bend over, and give it to them raw. That's the only way they want you, is if they can get everything from you and not have to worry about what they give. This is what it is, man. Why do you want a return on your investment, fellas? Like, why? Like, that's ridiculous. These women think it's ridiculous that men want a return on their investment, that they have requirements, right? Yeah, you were able to get away with this stuff with Pookie and Railway. But if you want a quality man to come in and be a help to you and build with, then you have to bring something to the relationship, something that man wants to the relationship. I don't know what's hard to understand about that. And women wonder why men keep talking about this. It's because the more men talk about it, the more we talk about it, the less you understand.
I will make you understand.
But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think. We're going to sign up out of here. Hit the comments, man. Let me know what y'all's experiences are on this. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can see when all my new videos are coming out and get notified. And like that, be easy. Gone.